Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We love talking about movies and more. I'm your host, Mason Phillips. This is
Hayden Smalley.
And I should have said I'm your co-host for this one. I'm so used to saying host. But this is the second episode of the Assembly Cut. As you know, sometimes it's not so easy to get our schedules on the same page. So when we can't do this one, you've been seeing me do the Talking Movies and More podcast. But this one will replace this, and we'll just push Talking Movies and More by about a week. We're just going to get right into it. We got about 3 or 4 topics we want to talk about here today concerning the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC Universe, and then we got a few other things on the tail end. If we have time for that, we'll tackle that, but this will be about an hour-long podcast. So, yeah, we were talking about the MCU and kind of the, I don't know if it's the hole they dug themselves into with the whole multiverse saga, but they definitely have been trying to regain some faith with the fan base. I think that's fair to say.
And so, Mason, I don't know if our audience has heard about this concept, but have you ever heard of the concept of the Overton window?
No, I haven't heard of it.
So it's a concept of, taking an audience or reader or whoever's suspension of disbelief and stretching it.
Yeah.
And kind of the whole concept is you start your story or political campaign or whatever it is you want people to believe in. You start it out with the most believable version possible.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you've really branched it out, and now it's got all these other moving parts and should be totally out there.
Yeah.
But the audience or whoever believes in it, because they have spent time in that world and seen that world develop from the world they know to this new world. And the MCU in Phase 1 did that really well, where you start with their most believable Avenger, Iron Man.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
just a billionaire tech guy.
Yeah. We see people who aren't billionaires building stuff pretty close to in their garages.
Yeah.
Imagine if Elon Musk decided to build an Iron Man suit. He could probably get pretty close.
Sure.
With the amount of money he has and all the geniuses that he's got in his pocketbook.
Who actually exists in the MCU. He's a cameo.
That's true. He could easily, be the closest we ever see to that.
Yeah. And Tony Stark in the MCU, I think, was actually partially based off of him, too.
Yeah.
So not completely, but a little bit.
Not completely, because he did exist in the comics before.
Yeah. But the way that Robert Downey Jr. portrays him.
Yeah. Exactly. And you take the Avengers' most believable character, and you don't outright build out all these other superheroes and all that.
Yeah.
Instead, you just plant little connecting tissues.
Yeah.
And then you got the Hulk, who's a little more unbelievable, but you kind of believe in it.
I think it helped in that aspect that he already existed. So we get to the Incredible Hulk and we learn, okay, he's already been around for 5 years. So in the background of Iron Man, there's already been this existing character that we're just now meeting. So you can kind of take it like that. There's an existing history with this guy. And it's also based in science, and so it's an exaggerated science, but it's still it's nothing alien. It's nothing like time travel science.
Right. It's radiation. Okay, I can believe radiation could turn somebody into a big green monster. Sure. Yeah. And then you've got Iron Man 2, which kind of regrounds things a little bit, and then you have Thor, which takes it off-world proportion, and a great way to do that story was fish out of the water. Okay, I could believe that there could be some worlds out there where physics and science are a little different. Yeah. Bring it to our grounded world so you can add those connecting tissues.
Right. You're bringing S.H.I.E.L.D. It's already been established in the Iron Man movies, and so you're connecting it to stuff that you've already... There's already been the platform.
And by the time you get to Thor, the only Avenger from the core team that we see in the movie that you're missing is Captain America.
Yeah.
And, so by the time you get to Captain America, you establish some of that universe's World War II history.
Which have already been teasing, Incredible Hulk is a result of the super soldier serum. So they already were teasing that. Tony Stark, having Howard Stark and that.
The Shield, and
it's all already a part of it. So
by the time you get to Avengers, which has the big CGI fight with the aliens at the end, the audience believes it now.
Because of Thor.
Because of Thor and the aliens but all these seeds you have planted, starting back with the most believable thing first.
Sure, the most grounded character,
And
with Marvel is traditionally more grounded than DC. So that's why, just to kind of go on a slight tangent here, with DC starting with Superman, I like that both the DCEU and the DCU have both started with Superman because, for one, he's the first character, really, in DC. And that whole universe is a lot more, gods and monsters, aliens, that kind of stuff. So that kind of makes more sense for that one. But the Marvel universe is has a lot more realism to it. I mean, we're getting into like time travel, multiverses, all that stuff now, but at the core of it, it's more of a...
They could have done... So this is so they continue to use the concept of the Overton window all the way to Endgame.
Yeah.
By that point, the audience is totally bought in. You couldn't go from Iron Man to Endgame.
No, I mean, like,
just back to back.
It's like DC doing Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. Kind of. It's like a more extreme version of that, but
yeah, it's like,
or Justice League, I guess.
Or it's like doing a Batman movie and then doing Batman versus Superman.
Sure.
Or how they did it, basically.
Yeah.
But if Marvel had decided to scale things back and return to the idea of the Overton window, restart, not restart the continuity, but restart the Phase 4 with your most believable character.
Right.
Which they kind of did with Spider-Man.
In a sense. But I mean, if you look back at their first project, I think technically their first project was WandaVision.
Yeah, that's true.
But their first movie...
I always forget that Far From Home is technically Phase 3.
Well, okay, so Far From Home, yes, was the next one. I was going to No Way Home because I was thinking in that aspect. So that's the whole structure of that phase is very
is awful,
interesting. Which, if you'll stick with me, I'm making that series on my channel for the restructuring the MCU. Just a little plug, shameless plug there for when I get to Phase 4. But Phase 4, 5, what, we're in 6 now, I guess?
I guess. No, that's the thing. Nobody knows what phase we're in anymore.
So that was another thing about the Infinity Saga was it ended with an Avengers movie traditionally. You could say Far From Home, but Far From Home really is
Or Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, I kind of see as the unofficial start to Phase 3, which it actually was originally going to be. Last minute, they changed it.
Doesn't make any sense.
But there's no reason to, like, Age of Ultron is the end of Phase 2.
Yeah.
And then Endgame is really the end of Phase 3. And Far From Home, when you're doing a chronological watch, you don't even watch Far From Home next. It's book that one and then No Way Home is your double feature. But,
they should have returned back to that concept of the Overton window. Where they could have still done multiverse and all that stuff. Sure. But they needed to ease the audience into it.
Or at least immediately start building up the next thing. So, like, say, if you're going to do, like, the most grounded character, I think the most logical thing to do would have been turn Falcon and Winter Soldier, turn that into a movie.
Yeah.
Make that Captain America 4. That could have been your window into that side of it. And if you're going to go more the fantastical, building up the whole multiverse, and at the time it was Kang as the villain, then go to Loki. And Loki's your next thing immediately following Endgame, which completely makes sense after his exit from Endgame and would create that through line that's really lacking because there is an overall story, but it's so scattered that it's hard to pick up on what matters for this because now we're going into Doomsday and some of the stuff we've seen, like Moon Knight's probably not going to matter. She-Hulk may or may not matter depending on how they do that.
Which is a shame because Moon Knight could have been an amazing character theatrically.
And
I mean, they did Werewolf by Night. I mean, they were starting to set up a whole Dark Avengers team.
Which I think they're going to be setting up. Reports are a Midnight Suns project is on the way, and Moon Knight could be a part of that.
Yeah.
And Oscar Isaac hasn't said that he wants to quit, so I think he'll still be attached to the character. But they've set up so many characters that you didn't have a follow-up with. And now some of them are going to. It's like the Eternals was a big loose hanging thread that's probably not going to factor.
Set up Blade.
Yeah.
And they never...
That too. I mean, they're paying off some stuff like Shang-Chi, thankfully, is finally coming back. And
oh, my word.
He had his movie way at the beginning of Phase 4, and now we're...
So...
Like, traditionally in the Infinity Saga, you would have had... So you have Thor in Phase 1, Thor the Dark World, Phase 2, Thor Ragnarok, Phase 3. Like, you had that character consistently introduced. And even when Iron Man stopped having his movies, he was still peppered in through the entire thing. So,
he was in, like, Spider-Man movies, Captain America, Civil War.
So that's the biggest issue with the Multiverse Saga, I think, is there's just no... Who are the characters we're supposed to be invested in? Because you're putting in so many.
Speaking of Shang-Chi. This is the direction I think that they should have taken, like, the next saga.
Yeah.
They really jacked it up with Iron Man 3. They wasted Ben Kingsley.
You could say they wasted him, but then when you watch Wonder Man, did they waste him? It's like Trevor's a pretty good character, so
Wonder Man kind of redeems Trevor Slattery.
It kind of does. They tried to redeem him in Shang-Chi, like kind of following up on that All Hail the King short of him being imprisoned by the real Mandarin.
Yeah.
But I kind of see what you're saying here, because I thought he was going to be a really menacing, threatening villain. The trailers portrayed him that way.
Then they did
a callback in Wonder Man. He plays that.
Well, and
does that again.
And I understand why they did the plot twist, because traditionally the Mandarin character in the comics is an Middle Eastern stereotype, a lot offensive to people.
I mean, they could have updated it and I thought they did. Yeah. Like, I thought it was going to be like this at the time. Now you could say, well, even that's offensive. It's like, okay, so there are layers of it.
Their version that they had sold in the trailers was going to be incredible.
I thought so too, and then especially early in the movie when you're watching the videos that he's distributing, like he's doing all these terrible things. Yeah. It's like, okay, Iron Man's got to stop him. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Like, I mean, just and there's other ways that you could have made it non-offensive or not as offensive.
I think so.
Show that the people group that he could be portraying, approve, like he operating an offshoot, like whatever.
Right. But they also kind of took away what the meaning of the Mandarin was, because the Mandarin was supposed to be a representation of tech versus magic.
Yeah.
And they went away from that. And when they brought in the real Mandarin, Wen Wu and Shang-Chi, then you have that kind of more mystical, magical elements. Yeah. They could have easily done a character like that. That's not offensive in Shang-Chi, but
right.
But I don't know if it's just because the lead we have in the movie is not a white guy, so I don't know if that's why.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to get into any political or anything like that, but it could be a reason why it's okay in one movie and not okay in this one.
But if they had kept to the version of Ben Kingsley, they could have set up what could have been the next version of the Infinity Stones, which could have been the 10 rings.
The 10 rings could have been
In the comics, the 10 rings were rings you wore on your fingers, not like wristbands.
Like the bangles like Miss Marvel had, right? Something like that, yeah.
And what they could have done was maybe, set the Mandarin up as the next Thanos.
They could have done that, and initially I think what they were going to do was not so much the Mandarin, but kind of going back to Kang. There were going to be pieces from each hero, something that they used that he was going to collect.
Which is why they changed it to the bangles.
Yeah. So I think the bangles were something that he was going to get from Miss Marvel. Pretty sure Shang-Chi's rings were something he was going to get as well. Because, I mean, there's that post-credit scene in Shang-Chi that sets off the signal.
Yeah.
So what is that? What does that post-credit scene really mean?
Because you've got Wong looking into it all. The Sorcerer Supreme.
And they set it up like it's going to be this big thing. And I was thinking at the time it was like Galactus maybe, but then we get Fantastic Four.
Right.
And that's a completely different universe, so that doesn't really factor.
Except there's only one Galactus across the whole multiverse.
That's true. So
the same Galactus we see in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, is the same Galactus. People could try and argue that it's not, but Galactus arrives in a cloud.
Yeah, in a cloud, but when you get to the center of the cloud, you do see worm. It does kind of take the shape of him. You could stretch it, have to make an explanation for it, but sure, it could be the same Galactus. Yeah.
I mean, just going off of the comics continuity, there's only one for the whole multiverse.
Right, and it's kind of odd that they're not leaning into that with the multiverse saga, but that's another thing with the multiverse saga, is there was no, like, true direction, because Kang wasn't even initially going to be the main villain. They did that after the end of season 1 of Loki. Yeah. They're like, oh, this guy works out so well, let's just make him the villain, so now we're going to start kind of leading towards that, which is kind of what they did with Thanos. Thanos wasn't really intended to be the big bad until the Avengers, because he was thrown in last minute in that post-credit scene, but it just worked out so well. They're like, okay, well, let's do this.
Let's do the Infinity Saga. So, let's go. And then they retroactively make certain things.
Sure, they go back and
Ether and
of course. So it does make sense why they would then, like, last minute, let's change it and make it Kang.
Yeah.
So because it worked before, why won't it work again? But I think it's because they chose either the wrong project to set Kang up in, or they didn't have these connecting threads.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Infinity Saga was doing so much better with
it's all the
peppering
connecting
in these characters, these Easter eggs and stuff, and it felt like each thing mattered as you went from project.
You can watch The Eternals and then go watch Shang-Chi and be like, oh,
yeah,
like cool,
right?
But they don't feel connected at all,
right?
You know, I mean, you had Thor felt like it was connected to Iron Man.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you had Agent Coulson show up. And,
yeah, Shield, like Fury shows up in a post-credit.
And something, and we'll kind of get into this a little bit when we really start talking DC. But something that Phase 1 did really well.
Yeah.
Was it set up like half of your team of Avengers without giving certain members their own movies.
Well, and even in the case of like Hawkeye, he still has a cameo in
exactly.
Thor before he has a big role.
Well, Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah, and she had a supporting role in it.
She had a supporting role. Yeah. Nick Fury, who you could argue is an Avenger of some degree.
Sure.
He's more kind of the supervisor.
Sure, but I mean, he's peppered in all over. He's got a first appearance in Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's referenced, if you look at the text in the opening of The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
That's kind of the weird one, but then he's a supporting role in Iron Man 2, and then post-credit scenes in both Thor and Captain America.
Yeah.
So, yeah, completely makes sense. And then, so if he feels like he's been a pivotal part of this whole story, then by the time you get to the Avengers, it's like, oh yeah, I know this guy. So the only character you're really introducing in that one is both Thanos and the other, I guess. But then, as far as the heroes, Maria Hill is really the only one you're introducing for the first time anyway. So, and she's a SHIELD agent anyway. She's not one of the members of the Avengers.
Right.
So you're not having to do all the heavy lifting of now introducing all these characters for the first time.
What I think that they're going to do, because they've realized that doing TV shows was not the way to go.
Right.
And they have very quickly derailed their whole universe.
Yes.
Through both the shows and the movies. Mm-hmm. They're going to do with Avengers Secret Wars kind of the same that they did with the comic run, the original comic run.
Kind of resetting some stuff.
Well, it's not even just a reset, it's establishing a new timeline.
Sure, yeah.
Because in the original Marvel Comics, Spider-Man was not in the same universe as the X-Men.
Yeah.
And they weren't in the same universe as the Avengers. Mm-hmm. Secret Wars was when they were all brought into Battle World.
Yeah. Was that the case in the comics?
Yes.
I thought they were always connected.
No, that was the case in the comics. They were all brought into Battle World with parts of their universe built into that world.
Okay.
And then at the end of the Secret Wars run, their universes all merged into the same continuity. So Spider-Man still has the same origin. Mm-hmm. You know, the Avengers still have the same origins.
Okay.
The X-Men, all that, but now they're all in the same continuity.
Right.
Now that Marvel and Disney owns Fox and the X-Men and all that, and they have a deal with Sony to do Spider-Man, they can use Hulk however they want, except for give him his own movie without sharing money with Universal.
At this point, I'm just like, why just buy the rights back and just make a movie? It's like, why are we doing this?
Right?
It's not like they don't have the money.
But now that they've pretty much got, to some degree, access to all their toys, they are going to kill off this dying timeline, but not invalidate the stories we've been told up to this point.
Right.
They're going to recast Iron Man and Captain America.
Kind of have to.
They kind of have to. But the stories we've been through with those characters still matter.
Right.
At least that's what they're hoping. Let's see how the audience reacts. But that's kind of their answer to, we don't want to do a full reboot.
Sure.
But we need to fix this universe.
Yeah.
And that's the best way, especially after unraveling the multiverse.
Absolutely.
Put it all in one line. And then if there's other Marvel projects, like if we get a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 or an Andrew Garfield The Amazing Spider-Man 3, the audience can now understand those exist in different universes. I think the audience has grown to kind of say, okay, I can believe in this version of Spider-Man versus this one.
And the multiverse will probably still exist to some capacity anyway.
It to for the sake of the comics.
Sure, but you could also say, well, these projects just took place before the events of Secret Wars or Endgame. Or
it's like they take place in the new universe's continuity. Yeah. But before...
Could be that too, yeah. Because it's rewriting the timeline all the way back to...
So now we have a new... It's kind of like the X-Men.
Sure.
You know, where like all these events happened on a branch of the timeline.
Right. And it makes more sense with the X-Men because I think everybody was trying to go through so many loops as to how... Try to jump through so many loops as to how the X-Men have existed the whole time in the MCU, kind of doing the kind of doing the Spider-Man thing, but the Spider-Man thing's a little easier because he just became Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then you can retroactively say that kid in Iron Man 2 is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But with the X-Men, it's a little more challenging because why is one group so vastly hated for being superpowered, and then they're praising the Avengers over here when you look at the way they've presented them in the films? Why are they that different when these people have all these powers and these people have powers, but we hate this specific group over here?
And something too is, you could retroactively do it and say, that they've always existed, but it's been very covert, and like Professor Xavier, keeps everybody's minds wiped of it.
Yeah, but then that's like really jumping through a lot of like retconning stuff, and this is the easiest, cleanest way to just say we're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And
now, what do you think of them trying to tie in like Wonder Man and Miss Marvel and potentially Jean Grey in Brand New Day?
So, that's curious, and
because it's kind of retroactively working against what they're trying to do.
Kind of both. I think with for the Jean Grey thing, I think it's they really like that character. They like the actress Sadie Sink. She just came off of Stranger Things and stuff, so it's like let's get her like as soon as we can before she becomes this expensive star that we can't afford anymore.
Yeah,
or don't want to pay like Robert Downey Jr. prices. So it is a little weird. And then other characters that weren't mutants so Miss Marvel's one where I'm okay that they changed it because they wanted to make her a mutant in the comics. Yeah. But at the time Fox had the rights and there was this whole like
they didn't want to give Fox another superhero.
It was this petty rivalry going on between Marvel Entertainment and then Fox and them not giving like give us back our stuff, but they didn't want to pay for it kind of thing.
I think they should have kept the whole like she's basically Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, I do hate that they changed her powers because I
made it feel more like Green Lantern.
It does. I mean, and then as far as tying it into the cosmic stuff with Miss Marvel, now the powers are a little bit more aligned, so it does have more, I guess, cohesiveness to it. But it is a little weird that they're changing that. And the fact with case of Wonder Man, I think I know there will be people who are huge fans of Wonder Man. But he is a more obscure character, so you can kind of get away with changing his origins and stuff a little bit more, and it not like for me, this is Wonder Man for me. Like I don't really have an attachment like the comics and his history in the comics is so weird anyway. It's like what version are you going to go with? Yeah. There's not a consistent version of Wonder Man in the comics anyway.
Like, so I'm okay with them reworking a character like. We wouldn't have the Guardians of the Galaxy the way we do if they hadn't been totally reworked.
Right.
Like, the team we got isn't even the original team.
It's not. I mean, you kind of see more of that original team in Sylvester Stallone's team in the second movie, yeah.
Yeah, but, I'm like, okay, you're trying to bring X-Men in, but you have the perfect setup to just say they didn't exist at all in the MCU.
It's kind of, they want their cake and they want to eat it too.
It's like...
Yeah. But at least they're not going.
They're eating the icing before the cake.
Sure. And then I've also heard like they don't really want to recast Wolverine. It might still be Hugh Jackman. And then I'm like,
they need to
reset it. And I've always been of the opinion. I never agreed that after Deadpool and Wolverine that was his last appearance. I always thought, why would you make that his last appearance? You have Secret Wars and you have Doomsday. Bring all these characters together that we've seen and grown up with. We've always wanted them to interact with each other. Yeah. Let's have this one final moment, and then we'll clean slate it. And the only characters I was saying keep on are the ones you like basically either just launched or some of the actors that are still willing. Like Chris Hemsworth as Thor. You can keep him on as Thor. I'm not against the idea of
he's hardly aged.
Right.
Like,
and if they're going to recast a few like Captain America and Iron Man,
I get it.
It's fine. And at this point in the MCU, we've gone on so long. Like I was hoping that Chris Evans would come back in Doomsday and Secret Wars. I wasn't expecting him to come back in as big of a role as he's expected to come back in. So that one kind of threw me a little bit, and I'm like, maybe Chris Evans does want to stay on as Captain America. It's kind of hard.
He could.
Hard to tell right now.
Robert Downey Jr. could stay on as Iron Man for.
I think he's going to stay on as Doctor Doom. That's what I'm hearing is he's going to be Doom, and they're going to recast Iron Man. And I know it's not what everybody wants, but I'm kind of more in the kind of just let's wait and see. Let's see what he gives us as Doom. And then if we love what he does, and like, okay, well, I really liked that, so I don't see a reason to change it. So it's the presentation, I think, is what it's going to come down to.
I think if he keeps the mask on.
Which I've heard for the majority of Doomsday, I don't think he takes his mask off on... It could be maybe not at all. but for at least 90 to 95% of them.
Because I think as an actor, he could totally do Doom.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But like use a voice modulator or something. Don't show his face.
Yeah, and I've heard he's supposed to have some, and what I'm hearing is from all these leaks and stuff, so it's kind of hard to tell what's true
real,
what's not. And I think a large part of it is true, but they've done so many reshoots too that whoever was reporting on stuff, like YouTubers like John Campea saying, I've got the whole story. Well, he got a version of that when they were early on in production, and they could have easily reworked some stuff. But as far as Doom, I've heard Robert Downey Jr. is supposed to have some kind of Latvian accent. So it'll kind of mask how he sounds. Won't exactly sound like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'll be honest, my hopes for Doomsday are not high.
They're not.
No, I've heard that some of the recent leaks of the script that supposedly it's worse than Supergirl.
Oh, really?
Which
I've heard that.
Which Supergirl, it's fine.
That's what I said too.
It's
okay.
It's a knockoff Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
It tries to be, and
yeah.
But before we segue into DC, just wrap up some MCU stuff here. I do have some hopes for Doomsday. Right now it's my most anticipated movie of the year.
Okay, mine's End of Oak Street.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Any dinosaur movie is going to be
yeah.
But for me, for Doomsday, it's it just feels like Marvel's back on some kind of momentum streak. Like the last couple of projects have all been pretty good. I think the last bad project was Captain America: Brave New World, and that one wasn't even
awful,
terrible, but it did have some stumbling.
Yeah. I actually ended up loving Thunderbolts.
I love Thunderbolts. I think Fantastic Four was really good. I thought Daredevil, which I know you're behind on Daredevil, but I thought Born Again Season 2.
You need to watch it. I gotta just start all the way from the beginning.
Right.
But
it's a worth watch, but it's a long watch. But I thought Born Again Season 2 was a huge step up from Season 1. It feels like the Netflix version of the show.
Good.
Wonder Man was a great show. X-Men 97, which I'm really behind on, but
I need to just hearing all the way from the original show.
Same for me, but I'm hearing both the first season and the second season received very well.
Good.
So I have a lot of anticipation for Brand New Day.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's going to be really great. I think the Vision Quest show that's coming out is probably going to be another hit.
Might be getting axed.
I think it's
not.
Well, they had a presentation for it recently.
Okay.
They brought Paul Bettany out, so I think that one's full steam ahead.
Good.
But for Doomsday, I do have a lot of excitement for it. The only bad thing I've heard about it recently was they can't find it in the edit. So it's like they thought they had something really, really great, and now they're getting into the edit bay, and they're like, it's just not coming together as cleanly as they thought it was going.
Marvel, send me the Premiere Pro file. I will sign whatever NDA. I need the editing work.
You'll hop on it.
I'll hop right on that.
But so I'm crossing my fingers that it's a return back to like the Endgame Infinity War days, because it was supposed to kind of be a clean slate from the multiverse saga, kind of just jumping off of Endgame into Doomsday. So I'm hoping that's what it is. And right now, we've heard so many things. I mean, even before Endgame, I know the hype for Marvel was at a high, but even then you were hearing like, they're doing a time travel thing. Like, and I didn't really get into the leaks, so that kind of did surprise me when we got into it. But that was throwing some people off, and then seeing some of the leaks is like, I don't know, what are they doing with this? And then you see the movie and you're like, oh, well, it all worked out. And it's that's still my favorite MCU movie is Endgame.
No, Endgame is such a phenomenal movie, but it has no weight. Kind of going back to the Overton concept. If you don't have everything before it,
exactly. And I'll go with you on that too, because you built. From Iron Man, you had a few stumbles here and there, I guess. But for the majority, Iron Man all the way to Endgame, it's one big cohesive story.
Yeah.
And bookended, I think, perfectly. So with Doomsday, you don't have that amount of hype that you did. And I talked about this in a previous video, that there's missing films in the multiverse saga. We should have had a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4.
Absolutely.
I think the most important one we should have had that we didn't get was another X-Men movie with the original cast.
Yes.
We got Deadpool and Wolverine, so that's great.
We should have gotten a follow-up to a Days of Future Past.
Something like that, yeah. Like, just follow, where is this cast going, in which I guess your explanation would be like, well, we did. It's called Logan, and they all died. But that could be a branch timeline too, so maybe that's not exactly the same.
Because I would argue Logan could even take place in the timeline that would have spilled out had Days of Future Past not played out the way it did.
It easily could have.
Easily.
It's basically another bummer ending of, well, the X-Men still died. It didn't matter what you did.
Yeah. But that's their destiny is to that would be, well, I think they did. Wasn't a video game X-Men Destiny?
I think so.
I know it got a lot of crap online. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Doomsday is really has a lot of work cut out for itself because it didn't do the groundwork throughout the multiverse saga.
Yeah.
So crossing my fingers, I hope it's going to be really good.
I hope it's amazing. Yeah. I anticipate it being one of the worst flops of the year.
I hope you're wrong. Yeah.
That's the thing. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, and I know you do too. I know you're not hoping
because I love Marvel is the GOAT when it comes to superheroes.
Exactly.
Sorry, DC fans. That being said,
it is, but so let's go ahead and talk about DC.
Let's talk about DC.
All right, so we decided to cut this podcast into 2 parts. We did run a little long, so we're going to save the rest of this conversation for next week in our 3rd episode of the Assembly Cut. So thanks so much for joining me and Hayden on this conversation. I hope you enjoyed us talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where we're headed going into Doomsday, and thanks so much for being a part of this community. Remember, you can follow me here on MP Movies and More. I also have 2 other channels. I have MP Games and More. It's my gaming channel, and I have a channel called MP Theme Parks and More. So we're talking about theme parks, my love of theme parks. That's where you can find me. You can also find me on Instagram at MP Movies and More, TikTok, I've got that as well. So there's a couple places out there where you can find me. Hayden's got a few places you can find him as well. Paradise Video YouTube channel, you can follow him over there. And you can also follow him at Paradise Video 1 on Instagram. And if there's anything else he wants to let you know about, he'll put some contact information over here, or maybe like right here. Join us next week as we continue this conversation, as we start talking about the DC universe and everything that's happening with the projects they're working on, where we think the universe should go over there. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you have anything to say about what we talked about here today, go down in the comment section and let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Before you go, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified when new videos go live to this channel. When you guys do that, it always helps us out, and we greatly appreciate it. Hope you all have an awesome and a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video.